TRF, a senior TRF staff member, followed by a panel session for discussion based on the worksheets. Now, why is there a need to have two separate sessions? Because the district committee feels that there's still a need for Rotarians to change their mindset as far as project planning is concerned. So as we've learned over the session, project planning is critical for us to make a better impact as far as our projects are concerned. So as such, we decided to have a presentation by a TRF senior officer. The challenges that we have in doing project planning is always the excitement that we have wanting to do the best for the community. I think that is not without doubt at all. But sometimes we have to think a little bit more about how you will benefit the community and how our projects will come out and have a better impact. We shouldn't just only treat the symptoms, but we should also find out what are the actual needs of the community. So we should really study the landscape, get to know your community much better. A very simple example, if it's a patient goes to see a doctor and complain of a headache, if the doctor continuously just give painkillers to relieve the headache, the doctor may not be able to solve the underlying problem. It could be as serious as a tumor, for example, or a ear problem, or a dental problem, or a muscle problem. There could be so many other things that can contribute to the headache. So same thing as Rotarians, let's not just focus on what we want to do, but what the community really need. One of the takeaways from the speaker is that we always have to be very careful when we hear this phrase that our club has always done it this way. Some of you may also hear past presidents of your club saying that, you know, when I was president, this is how we did it. So these are very dangerous phrases because things change, the community needs changes. So as Rotarians doing project, we should be aware of what is required. Now, another takeaway from the presentation by the senior TRF staff is that he impressed upon us that Rotary Foundation and Rotary is moving away from what he calls a lift and give kind of project. Means you give something and lift the community spirits for that moment. We are transiting into making a change and getting an impact kind of project. And he's encouraging Rotarians and clubs to do projects that will get the community itself very much involved in the changes that they want to see in themselves, and to move away from just giving things and walking away just for the moment. So change is an important factor that we should try and impress and try to get the community to be able to make changes so that they can benefit themselves. The speaker also talked about sustainability. I think the best example he gave us was, if you want to make a change for a year, you sow rice. If you want to make a change for a decade, you plant trees. If you want to make a change for a lifetime, you give them education. So I think this is something that we should try to focus on. Yes, sometimes the community is in dire need of a certain item. Yes, Rotarians and clubs should do that item, but try to think on how similar problems can be avoided. And in the process of giving this item or this gift, so as to speak, how can Rotarians and clubs try to embed some kind of a training program, some kind of an education program, some form of public health program that can make can have effective changes. The next part of the presentation was on the discussion. Unfortunately, we only had 3 worksheets that was written to us from 3 clubs, so we couldn't do very much of a discussion on that. But there was some animated discussion from the participants as to the significance or the propensity for clubs to do more ad hoc projects based on compassion. For example, if we see a disaster, if we see an absolute humanitarian need, Rotarians want to jump in and do the project straight away. And then after the project finishes, everything ends. So this is what is known as ad hoc project. So it is something that is right or something that is wrong. The discussion went on to say, to come to a conclusion that ad hoc project itself is not a bad thing. The nature of Rotary is such that the leadership changes year after year. However, doing an ad hoc project doesn't mean that you cannot be systematic about it. Doesn't mean that you cannot try to learn a little bit more of the community, Of course, if the project can continue year after year, then it becomes a very effective signature project. The club can grow and the impact can be very much better. Now, as a takeaway at the end of it, the feedback was sometimes having participants to do so-called homework could be a deterrent for participants. Secondly, the fact that we had a speaker outside the district may also make some of our participants a bit reticent and not being able to come out more openly to share what concerns that they have. And of course, if it had been a one-to-one live kind of session, I think we'll be getting a bit more from the participants. At the end of it, there was a discussion, there was a thought as to how we should move forward in the future. The presentation by the TRF senior coordinator is a very technical presentation, whereas if we invite a Rotarian or myself or somebody else to make a presentation, then it will be more like a project-based kind of presentation. So we believe that technical presentation is very good for understanding and for acquiring the skills, and it's very good for targeted audience. That means grant makers like yourself, project makers like yourself. Whereas project-based presentation is very good for inspiration. It's very good for fundraising, creating awareness, and it's very good for large audiences so people can still understand. So what is lacking from the session that we have? We feel that there's still a lack of knowledge on how to collect data, what kind of data is required to make your project more impactful, and about measuring impact. How do we measure impact? What is the impact, and how do we communicate? So I think this will be the areas that we may want to focus in the future. Thank you very much. Back to you, PDG Andre. Thank you.
Thank you, Past President Dr. Shahul, for sharing with us the recap of what has actually taken place last week. And at this juncture, I would like to welcome Past District Governor Dato' Haji Zaini Abdul Alkasa for being here with us. And as well as we have a guest, and who is not a Rotarian yet, Victoria Huang. Thank you for being here with us, Victoria. For your information, Victoria joined a session on introduction to Rotary among a number of other interest individuals who attended the session that was organized by Past District Governor Dato' Haji Zaini Abdul Alkasa. That was, I think, about 2 to 3 weeks ago. And welcome for being here, Victoria. And
I'm very new.
Yes, don't worry. Yeah, thank you for being here and joining.
Yeah, well, I'll need all the guidance.
Sure, all right. And this workshop, for your information, Victoria, it is about trying to guide Rotarians, whether they are new, whether they are seasoned Rotarians, in trying to focus and get everybody to be in line with the vision statement of Rotary, and as well as to make sure that whatever that we do, it is based on impactful project that can create lasting change in the community that we are targeting, for this benefit to be cascaded down to each and individual of the community members, and as well as to capitalize on that impactful activities that have been done to see how we can inspire other people to be connected with us, and not necessarily to become a member. It will be good if they can become a member, but not necessarily, but at least give them the opportunity for them to interact and be connected with Rotary to see what exactly the good that we do. All right, and as well as to making sure that for seasoned Rotarians who have been in Rotary for many years, that the club leadership do take care of the needs and expectations of each member, so that they feel that their opinions are valued and they feel that their contributions are being valued, and that we have a variety of ideas and we listen to everybody, and that decision making is not only lie among the few in the club. So we hope that at the end of this session, this is the second part of the session, last week was the first part, we hope that we'll be able to achieve that. So what I'm doing now is to invite the facilitator of last week to just give a recap of what has been achieved in that session last week. That brings me to invite Past President Foo Kok Hing from the Rotary Club Batu Pahat to share with us on what has been achieved last week at his session on enhanced participant engagement. Go ahead, Beautiful.
Thank you very much, PTG Andre, for allowing me to recap what has happened during our session last week. Now, very good afternoon to our Rotary Coordinator, ARC Michael E, IPTG Mohan, DG Joy Income, my fellow Rotarians, and of course, my friends in Rotaries, and also my mentor, PTG Datuk Zaini. Very good afternoon to one and all. Last week, before we ended the session, I forgot to say this to my participant or my members in my group. I think I have to say it now before I give a summary of my report. I forgot to tell them one of the greatest gifts that they can give me last week was their attention. So last week they really pay full attention to my sharing, and I really enjoy the kind of participation, especially all the senior Rotarian. And the person who really make me remember him very well is BP Krush and also BP Saravanan. All right, I almost forgot to allow him to share his group report, so he reminded me. But he sportingly remind me that hey Fu, you have left me out. So this week I'm very happy that he is still in my group. But I think Saravanan has shied away to Jimmy Leong. Okay. Last week as usual my presentation is based on what I learned from PTG Andre during the train the trainer. We use the facilitation style. So being a facilitator, I think I need to talk less, but I try to engage my members to participate. And from what I can perceive, I think they have done very well. They really make me happy. That was a reason why towards the end of the assessment review during our training part, somebody was asking me, do you want to see the result of feedback by the participant? I say I'm quite confident that I think they will give me very good marks. Hopefully that today I can buy them their marks also. Okay, so let's get back to the topic. The topic for our discussion last week, we were talking about enhancing participant engagement. Actually, this topic is based on one of the 4 RI action plan. So Dr. Shahu, his topic is also RI action plan. So my topic is the 3rd RI action plan. The 2nd RI action plan will be presented by our BP Jimmy Leong today, and I will be also doing the last action plan for today. So the 3rd action plan, enhancing participant engagement. Basically, RI has also highlighted 2 areas. So these 2 areas was fully discussed by the group during the breakout groups. Firstly, we talk about engaging the participant. When we talk about participant, means engaging the Rotarians, the non-Rotarians, the Rotractors, Interactors, and also well-wishers, Rotary friends in Rotary activities. So by engaging the participants, participation actively in Rotary activities, we have to focus on 2 aspects. Aspect number 1 is creating welcoming environment. I gave them just a few tips from RI, whereby we have to emphasize on diversity, equity, inclusions, and creating harmony environment within the club. All right, but I think all the group leaders and the participants, they have done excellently well during the discussion. So based on the report, I'm very happy that they have touched our workshop objective. And secondly, we will talk about understanding members' needs. So again, understanding members' needs, we also had a lengthy discussion and report. So again, I was very happy that all the participants, they participated actively in this during our workshop. So I have no problem with my participant. The most worrying thing for facilitator is the whole session was so passive that there's no response. It didn't happen to me last week. So I was very happy that I'm looking forward for today's session. And if Cruz is allowed, I think he should be able to lead together with his good friend, our Richard Ong from E-Club. I already told him to help me to keep, not to keep the club vibrant, but today to keep the discussion vibrant. So anyway, I'm very happy that last week we talked about creating welcoming environment. We talked about understanding members' needs, which we are going to continue for today. Last week we talked about understanding their needs so that we can get them to engage in activities. This week we want to understand that not only we have to understand their needs, we have to accept the reality that members' needs are changing from time to time. So how are we going to cope with the changing needs of our members to keep our club vibrant? So again, also last week we also talked about engagement. If you want to engage your members in activities to keep the club vibrant, well, you cannot run away from the word empowerment, forming committees and get the committee to take action and control the activities that we carry out. So I think basically the last week what we have discussed, we have achieved our objective. So once again, I want to thank the tech host also. Last week we have a very challenging time, especially with the technology challenge. But anyhow, we were safe. And then the tech hosts were very professional. And also, of course, I want to thank my guru, PDG Andre Slado, for his guidance. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Past President Foo Kok Hing, for sharing with us what has taken place last week. And to give you an idea for this afternoon, all of you will be actually transferred to 2 breakout rooms. One is the breakout room to be facilitated by Past President Jimmy Leong on the topic of expanding your reach. And then another group will be transferred to room 20, right? Under the facilitator of PP Foo Kok Hing, with the topic of increasing your ability to adapt. So PP Jimmy Leong will be in room 10 and PP Foo will be in room 20, and you will be transferred by the Zoom tech support, right, to go to each respective room for 60 minutes to do on exercises on the worksheets that you are supposed to have filled up. But it's okay, in the event that you have not had the chance to complete those worksheets, right? Get the facilitator in the room to see whether they can get the tech support to share those worksheets in the Zoom chat box, so you can actually download them. All right. So with that, after 60 minutes, you will then come back for the closing plenary to be facilitated by Past District Governor Michael Yee, where you will complete again a worksheet which is called the action plan. That means what you have learned on that 4 sessions would have been charted out and written down on this action plan, something that you want your club to do as a follow-up. All right. And I hope everybody should have already received an email from PP Kenneth Tan. The email was sent early afternoon or late morning concerning 2 things. Number 1, the link to these Zoom sessions. Obviously, you have got the right Zoom connections, otherwise you will not be here. That means you should have read that email. But what is important is that there is also a second link asking you to join the WhatsApp group. So if you have not joined, please do that, and maybe the respective tech support can share that WhatsApp group link later on in each of the breakout sessions. The idea is that in the event there are technical disruptions beyond our control, just like last week, everybody, all they have to do, just read the update on that chat, the WhatsApp group that has been created, and no one is allowed to submit or post anything except for the administrator. So just look out for that. So we learned from last week's mistake. We are more organized this week. And so these are the precautionary measures that we have done. All right. Let's hope that the sessions will go smoothly. I will wait for you in the main room for the closing plenary by PDG Michael Yee. That is for about 45 minutes. And then we will do a wrap up. Okay. Any questions so far before I get the Zoom tech support to help transfer each one of you to the respective breakout room? Feel free to unmute and shout out. No? Okay. All right, Zoom tech support. Are you all ready?
Yes.
Okay. So please go ahead and transfer everybody into the respective breakout room. See you later.
So, William, I'll be going to room 20.
Have fun.
Oh, we still have Gladys and Kush and Lillian Lowe who are still here.
Waiting for them to press the join button.
Kush, could you please press the join button, and Gladys and Lillian? Okay. I'm going to the other room then. I'll see you, William.
Have fun.
See you. Thank you.
Hello, Miss Lillian, Miss Gladys. Hello, Gladys. Are you there, Gladys?
Hi, Lotarian from Marina City. May I know your name so that I can assign the room for you?
know what happened. Sorry, I'm supposed to be in room 20. What happened? Let me try and get this.
Oh, okay.
21. My name is Gladys. Wait, hold on. I should be name myself again.
Okay.
So I got out and then I joined in again. Let me get my name right, okay?
Sure.
Gladys. I know. Gladys. 316. Okay, yeah. So set away. So I'm supposed to be assigned to another room.
Yes, you've been assigned. Please press the join button.
Back, everyone. Welcome back, everyone. And I hope that you have enjoyed the breakout room sessions. And whatever that you have actually discussed in each breakout room, I hope that can be the basic foundation for you to be able to contribute in this coming session, which is the closing plenary, to be conducted by past District Governor Michael Yee. In this session, there will be a breakout room again, where 4 of you will be transferred to 4 different breakout rooms by random, right? And PDG Michael Yee will tell us when it is time to do that. So without much ado, can I invite past District Governor Michael Yee to facilitate this session, please? Go ahead.
Thank you, Andre. All right, we are now in the closing plenary session, right? Which will end, our District Vibrant Club workshop that we have conducted over these past 2 weeks. Okay, now just a summary of the 4 strategic priorities that will help you in developing your club's action plan. All right, we have this increasing your impact. Okay. So increasing your impact is to increase your club impact in your community, because we can only impact our individual communities. Okay. But can you imagine every club impacting its own community? Of course, for the worldwide, there's an impact, but you only need to impact your community. You don't have to care about other communities, but overall, our 38,000 clubs around the world will have this worldwide impact, right? So most important thing is we have to add value to the community, okay? Because when we add value to our community, we will attract members, we attract partners, and most importantly, we attract donors to our projects. And of course, the projects can be just our own club project, or it can be a global grant project with international partners. Okay, so and important thing is to increase our impact, we have to assess our projects, we have to measure outcomes, right? And then we have to evaluate the impact that we have on our community. And then the second strategic priority is expanding your reach. And the idea is to look for ways to get community members involved with our club, okay? And to collaborate with new groups will make our club more appealing, right? And it encourages a diverse membership base. As you know, Rotary recently has been talking about DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, right? So we want our club to embrace this diversity, equity, and inclusion so that we include more people. We include the young people, old people, male and female, and of course, people with different sexual orientations and so on, right? And so we can expand our service. Most importantly, we must expand our capacity for service. Okay, so we learn to connect with new groups, and that we can do by Facebook or by LinkedIn and by other social connections we have, right? But in the past, we can do like, in-person connection, but nowadays it's difficult. So we do social media or Zoom meetings and all that, right? And we encourage others to join us in action. And then the enhancing participant engagement is important. The problem with why clubs are not vibrant is because members are not engaged. But when members are engaged with the club, when they have personal experiences with the club, so these are all subjective experiences. Other than being objective, we have to have our subjective experience as well. So once we have this one, we feel the experience of connecting with our members and with the public, and then of course, it would help to improve our club experience. We must add value to our own club experiences, right? And then when this way, we will better understand the needs of our members and also the needs of other people who participate in our club activities, right? And then we can create a club environment that adds value to their lives, right? As you can see nowadays, Global Grant, they always have this thing called, a training element. Why? It's because they want our projects to change our behavior. So, like for example, previously our members may not be that concerned about doing this or that or service for our community, but once we train our members, we add value to them, we show them the impact that we can have on our community, and it adds value to our life. It changes our behavior that we want to do more of this for our community. Most important thing is it must change our behavior, right? So we not only want to benefit our beneficiaries, but our lives must be transformed as well. When we transform our lives, we will transform the lives of other people. And then the fourth strategic priority is increasing your ability to adapt, right? And so how to do this, right? We have to constantly review, right, the processes and the activities of our club. Only by constantly reviewing, because as you know, things change. Things do not stay constant. So things change. So we have to constantly review, right? Because things do not remain static. I think as P.P. Shahu has mentioned earlier, you know, the most dangerous sentence in Rotary is, our club has always done it this way. Or a past president say, in my time, we did it this way. This is a very dangerous sentence, right? So we cannot allow this to happen. We have to review our processes constantly and also review our activities as well. How can we improve our activities? So we have to evaluate our internal processes, right? Because they're essential to creating a strong foundation for innovation, for sustainability and growth, right? Because we want to constantly innovate. We want to make sure that we are able to sustain our activities, our fundraising, and so on. We want to constantly grow our clubs. Okay, so we will see how we can adapt our activities so as to keep our club relevant and engaging. Okay, so now that we have discussed these main areas, by the way, just to let you know, the 4 strategic priorities is not static. Anyway, this is belong to the current 5-year plan. That started in 2019 after the 2019 Council on Legislation, right? So these current 4 strategic priorities will be valid until the year 2024. Okay, so 2019 to 2024 is 5 years. So Rotary has got 5-year plans. So we do not know what the strategic priorities will be like 4 years from now, but we know that you know, it's not constant, right? So, but for now, we just need to concern these 4 strategic priorities for this current 5-year until 2024. Okay, right now, I believe you have the worksheet for this session, right? Can the technical support maybe flash the worksheet on the screen? Do you have the worksheet with you? Can someone share the worksheet?
We can share it in the chat box of the Zoom, right?
Oh, let me see. Are you going to flash it on the screen? Let me see. Do I have access? Hold on.
Yes, you are co-host.
Oh, I have it. Okay.
Yes, you have.
Hold on. Yeah, I think it should be this one. Hold on. Because my eyes are not so good, I can't see very clear. Let me see. No, I think it's not this. Hold on. I think I shared the wrong one. I thought I asked for this to be shared. Hold on.
It is in the Zoom chat box.
Oh, Zoom
so
chat.
they can download it. Participants can download it.
Oh, hold on. Let me stop share first. Yeah. Because recently my eyes, I've got increasing cataract, so I can't see very clear. Hold on. I got to get very close. It could be this one. Yes. Okay. All right. Do you see on the screen?
Yes.
Worksheet, your action plan.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, so this is the action plan. You see, because all our discussion should finally lead to an action plan. Because whatever we do, there is always a final part that is called a call to action. It's no point just discussing and planning and talking and not taking action, right? So that's why Rotary will always ask our clubs and our Rotarians to have an action plan, right? So now, okay, you see, there are only 2 questions, very simple, you see. Number 1, what I learned from this workshop. And this workshop refer to last week and this week. So the 4 strategic priorities. So this workshop is not just what you learn in your particular breakout, but the 4 sessions. And also this one, ideas I'll discuss with my club and who are involved. So can I now ask our technical staff to break up our members into 4 groups, randomly grouped, and no need to be any specific person, just random.
Will do.
And we'll
Room.
break for 20 minutes.
Will
Oh,
do,
yes.
sir.
Okay.
Room is now Opening.
All right, and please choose a leader. Thanks.
I hope I got everybody.
Right now, am I in the main room?
Yes, you are. So everybody else, if you would like to pick your room to go into.
Michael, you are a co-host, so you can actually choose which room you want to go to.
Oh, okay. Should I remain outside or should I remain inside? Because once I remain inside, they will expect me to talk.